Hello everyone and welcome to my craft room. I'm Leo from inkymemories.co.uk, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in South Wales. And today on this Simple Saturday Stamping video, we're going to be making some more Christmas cards. We are still approaching that season, it is coming up on us and time to get some more done. So the products that I'm going to be using today are from the Christmas Gleaming Variety Bundle, and this can be found in the August to December mini catalogue on page 19, and it is a bundle that comes with the stamp set, the 2 punches and this beautiful designer series paper. So the stamp set, as you can see, has a couple of different sentiments in there, and then it focuses primarily on these beautiful bauble images, and then you also have this nice holly and a little sort of flourish up here. And then you have 2 punches, and these punch out the bauble images from the stamp set here in 2 different sizes and shapes. You have the sort of larger teardrop one and the sort of more squat round one. And then the beautiful designer series paper, which in my eye is sort of the highlight of this bundle. There are 6 different designs in this, and you get 12 sheets in total in the packet. And these have beautiful copper foil elements on there, so I hope this is coming across for you. And these are double-sided sheets. You have first of all this beautiful sort of bauble assortment on this side. And then turn this one over, and it's just a really nice geometric print. You have this gorgeous geometric print in Night of Navy and copper on this one. And then you have these lovely stripes on the reverse side of that one. This one is in Pretty Peacock, and again it's a beautiful sort of copper foiled flourish on this one. And the reverse side is some holly sort of sprigs and leaves and various berries, and that again is in Pretty Peacock. This one, I don't have lots of this one left. This is literally all I've got left in my packet. So again, just a really nice sort of geometric pattern on there in a couple of different colours. And then you've got this gorgeous flourish on the back, which is in Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy. And this is one of my favourite sheets in the pack, these beautiful copper foiled stars on a Night of Navy background. And the back of this again is just a really nice simple geometric pattern. And the last one then, this is in Mossy Meadow with the copper foiling over it, and it's just those gorgeous sort of holly sprigs and leaves and sort of various berries on there. And the reverse side of this is just some really pretty stars, and these are in Night of Navy, Mossy Meadow and Pretty Peacock, which are the colours that come in this DSP pack. So the project that we're going to be making today, as I said, this is a Simple Saturday project, so I've got all of my pieces pre-cut and ready to go. So I'm making a card base in Pretty Peacock today. So this is half a standard sheet of A4. So this is 14.85 centimetres by 21 and scored up the middle at 10.5. I have a very vanilla envelope. I have a mat for the inside of the card, again in very vanilla, and this is 12.85 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. I have a mat for the front of the card, and this one is 6 centimetres by 10.5. I have a strip of designer series paper. This is in 13.35 centimetres by 5.1, which is 2 inches. And then I have a piece of this beautiful copper foil paper, and this one is 14.35 centimetres by 3.8 centimetres, which is 1.5 inches. And then to go along with this, I also have here some scraps of the designer series paper and some little scraps of the copper foil. So let's get started. We're going to first of all do a lot of punching to start with today. So I'm going to bring in first of all this punch here. This is the triple banner punch, and as you can see it has 3 separate channels on here, so you can punch 3 different widths of cardstock or designer series paper. So the widest is 2 inch, then you've got 1.5 inches and 1 inch in the middle. And I'm going to punch both the designer series paper and the copper foil with this punch. So just feed it in until it hits the end and punch. And then the same with the designer series paper. like so. And that's all we need the banner punch for. The next thing I'm going to do then is punch a couple of the ornaments using the punches that come in the Variety Bundle. And I'm going to have a quick look through the papers and see which I want to use now. Like I said, this beautiful navy stars is my favourite, so I'm definitely going to use that. And I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to punch a large ornament out of the navy stars piece. Just like that. And then one of the small ornaments from this piece that is backed in very vanilla, and then it has both Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy on there, and a copper foil. Then using these punches, I'm going to punch out some tops for the top of my little ornaments here. So taking a piece of copper foil, I'm going to feed it into my punch so it is just over that very sort of top piece where the sort of cap, if you like, of the bauble would be. And just punch one of those for my little bauble, and then a second one for the large bauble as well. Doing exactly the same thing, just feeding this in until it reaches the point where it would make that sort of cap. And grabbing that, there we go. And that's all the punching that we need to do for this project today. So let's get these assembled and glued together. So I'm going to grab some liquid glue, just the Tombow liquid glue here, and just pop a tiny little bit on the back of the copper foil that we've just punched, just to adhere it to our designer series paper. There we go. Just hold that in place for a second while the glue bonds. And there's our little capped bauble, and I'm going to do the same again on the mini version. Just pop it into place over the DSP and just hold it there for a moment while the glue bonds. And there we have our little capped baubles. Okay, let's get some stamping done. So I'm going to bring in my two very vanilla pieces, and I have ink in Pretty Peacock since that is the card base that we are using today. Now the stamp that I've picked from the stamp set is this Merry Christmas sentiment, so quite a small sentiment on here. And I'm going to stamp this first of all on the piece for the front of the card. So I'm just lightly tapping my stamp onto the ink pad until it is nicely inked up. Lining this up on my grid paper. And I want to stamp in the top right hand corner. So just look down over this, make sure you have this nicely lined up. Pop it straight down onto your cardstock and then lift straight up. And I also have one of the small bauble stamps mounted onto a clear block, and I'm going to use that to stamp the inside of my card. So again, just light taps on the ink pad to ink up my stamp. And I'm going to pop this in the bottom right corner for the inside of my card. Just like so. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I don't like to leave my envelopes naked, so I'm going to pop a small bauble onto there as well. Just in the bottom left corner, just like that. And that is all of the stamping that we need to do for our project today. So let's get this assembled. So I'm first of all going to take my card base. I've already scored it up the middle, so I'm just going to fold along the score line, and using my bone folder, I just burnish that score. And this just helps to keep the card folded nicely, so that when you actually stand it up, it stands up nicely and it makes a nice neat card. I'm going to glue into the middle of the card the mat that we've stamped with the bauble piece. So just some glue around the edge of that mat and across the middle. And again, with liquid glue, less is definitely more. You don't need a huge amount of glue for this. You don't want it all to squeeze out of the sides as you put your cardstock into place. And with the liquid glue, you have a few seconds here to sort of wiggle the cardstock into place. Make sure that it is all nicely lined up into your card. So that's the inside of our card done. And for the front, we're going to start off with the copper foil here. And again, I'm using liquid glue, and I'm just going to pop a thin bead of the glue around the edge and up the middle. And I want to add this to the front of my card so that it is centered top to bottom and side to side. And then just smooth that into place so that glue has bonded nicely. And I'm going to do the same then with my piece of DSP. So again, just a nice thin bead of glue around the edge of here. And this is going to sit over the top. So you should have some foil poking out at the top and the bottom. And again, try to line up your designer series paper top to bottom and side to side, so you have a nice even strip across the top, and then you've got the banner nice and even at the bottom. And just smooth that into place. And this will take a little bit longer for the glue to grab, just because it is sticking onto that foil with that shiny surface. It can take a little bit extra for it to actually glue down. So just hold that for a few moments longer. Make sure it's nicely smoothed into place. And then I'm going to take the mat that we stamped and some dimensionals. And just pop a few dimensionals on the back. Make sure you pull them in from the edge so they're not visible in your finished project. And then just one in the middle for a bit of support. Squeeze those all on and then peel off the backs. And then we're going to pop this onto the front of our card so that it is centered side to side. It should fit exactly across the front of your card, as it is the same width as your card base. And then roughly centered, maybe slightly towards the top of your card, top to bottom. And squeeze that into place. And then we're going to pop on our little ornament. So the big one, I'm going to use liquid glue for this. So again, just a small amount of liquid glue onto the back of our ornament just to hold it in place. And I'm going to pop this over towards the left hand side just at a slight angle. And just smooth that onto there and hold it in place while the glue bonds. And then with our mini ornament, I'm going to pop this one on with a dimensional. So you just need one for the back of this. Peel off the back from here and pop this slightly over the top of the bigger ornament. You can pop that one at a slight angle as well. And then to finish off the front of our card, I have here these gorgeous copper star design elements, and these can be found in the annual catalogue with the rest of the sort of embellishments towards the back of the catalogue. I'm going to pop some of these onto the front of my card. So I'm going to take the take a pick tool and the pointy end on here. I'm just going to arrange 3 of these gorgeous copper stars across the front of my project here into a rough sort of triangle. And there we have our finished card. This is an incredibly quick one today. And a really simple, pretty card using lots of that beautiful designer series paper. And because this is a Christmas card, I never make Christmas cards singly. Obviously, you tend to send quite a few of those. So I have made a couple more using the rest of the colours in the designer series paper stack. So the colours in there are Pretty Peacock. I've done one also in Mossy Meadow. So again, just using a Mossy Meadow base and the Mossy Meadow version of the DSP. And then a couple of the different DSPs for the ornaments. I've done another one here in Night of Navy using that gorgeous star paper that I love so much, and then some different ornaments again in a different DSP. I did a fourth one. This one is in Old Olive, which technically doesn't appear in the colours of the designer series paper, but it is a very close match for the sort of paler versions of the Mossy Meadow pieces in here, and I think this just works really nicely with the copper elements as well. So there we go, 4 very quick and easy Christmas cards. Whenever you're making Christmas cards, I would always highly recommend that you find a nice simple project that you can make multiples of very quickly. Most people need, you know, at least 20 or 30 Christmas cards to send out, and it would be very easy to make a good big batch of these very, very quickly. I hope you have enjoyed this project today. If you have, please give the video a like, a thumbs up, so that I know that you have enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to the channel so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Every Saturday I post a new simple project like this, and then alternating on Wednesdays I do a larger sort of more complex project on a workshop Wednesday, and then we do alternating Tip Tuesday videos as well. All of the products that I have shown in this project today are available through my Stampin' Up store, and there will be a link to that in the description box below for you, along with a link to the web form on my website where you can request a copy of Stampin' Up's current physical catalogues, and I'll get those into the post on their way out to you if you are based in the UK and don't currently have a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you again for joining me in my craft room today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.